In this video, I'll show you how I was able to get approved for a $200,000 car loan for a car like this. I know firsthand how fulfilling it is to work hard and make your dreams come true. And I wanted to share the blueprint with how I was able to finance an exotic car, even though it may seem impossible at first. If you're passionate and determined, nothing can stop you from achieving your goals. And owning an exotic car symbolizes not only luxury and prestige, but also the drive to continuously improve yourself. So stay tuned as we dive into the step-by-step process of getting a high-value loan and making your exotic car dream a reality. So let's get started. First and foremost, you're gonna need to have a good credit score. But more importantly, you need to build a strong credit profile. Having a great credit score is an important part of life. And the good news is that it can be achieved depending on your credit behaviors. At the time when I was searching for loans, I was in the low 800s, but this credit score did not happen overnight. Building credit and taking small steps, such as paying off your credit cards on time and budgeting monthly expenses, this will add up big improvements to your credit score. Building credit is simple. This is what you need to focus on. The two biggest factors that play the biggest role in your credit are the amounts owed and your payment history. The amount owed is just the amount of debt that you have. This considers your credit card balances, which is your credit utilization, and other debts that you may have, such as loans. Now, your payment history is essentially how well you've been paying your lenders on time. Have you been making on-time payments on your credit cards or your loans? If you are, then you're in good hands. If not, then you may want to consider credit repair. I do have some DIY templates and courses on the subject that will help you in the description, or you can just seek out an agency to help you out. Anyways, by focusing on these two factors of your credit score, you should be able to achieve a 700 credit score, because everything else will just take care of itself. Now, your credit score only determines your interest rate and your term, and that's pretty much about it. Just because you have an 800 plus credit score does not mean that you will qualify for a loan greater than $100,000. Now, this is where your credit profile plays a key role. Lenders do not care whether or not you make a lot of money, they care whether or not you can handle debt. Most people who are qualifying for their first car loan can qualify anywhere between $20,000 to $30,000. So here are the actual ways to finance that expensive car of your dreams. First is to get a massive down payment. If you are trying to finance a $200,000 car and have only financed smaller vehicles in the past, a large down payment can help you sway the lender to approve your loan. But just be prepared for the possibility is that they may say no thanks and suggest you get a cheaper car. Second is to bring on a co-signer. If you have a friend or a family member with a solid credit score and a high value car in their name, they can co-sign your loan to increase your chances of getting approved. Just be warned, if they later decide that they want to buy a fancy car of their own, they can't because they co-signed for you and they may not be too thrilled about that. Plus, they have to take on the risk in case of you miss payments or you're unable to pay. Next is go for the commercial loan route. If you own a business or multiple LLCs, you may be able to get approved for a corporate auto loan, which typically carries a higher interest rate, but may be more flexible in terms of your debt to income ratio. Now, the last strategy is to get a bridge loan. This strategy works best for those who are in the habit of buying and selling high value assets, cars, boats, or real estate. Essentially, you buy something at a lower price, hold on to it for a few months, ideally 6 to 12 months, and then trade it for something more expensive. By showing that you can make timely payments on a loan, you may be able to increase your credit limit and qualify for bigger loans in the future. And remember, even if you have to start small to work your way up, it's all about building relationships and credit, and sometimes a little extra effort can go a long way. Plus, you can still get some pretty nice cars at all price points. In my situation, I had pretty good income, but the highest car loan I've ever had was roughly $40,000. So I knew that getting anything greater than $100,000 was not possible for my situation. This is where I had to be a little bit creative and search for different lenders, and credit unions, they tend to be the best. Credit unions are a great option because they're typically more lenient and have more flexible guidelines than banks. Some also cater towards exotic car buyers and can usually provide the best rates. Here are some lenders that I tried. The first one, of course, was Navy Federal. Since I'm already a member, this was my go-to. I applied for a $200,000 loan and got denied right away. I was hoping to get a counter, but I got nothing. And then I reapplied for $100,000, but got denied again. So there was something about my credit history that they didn't like, but I'm pretty sure it was due to having a recent auto loan with them. I have an auto loan of about $40,000 with them, plus I'm pretty sure they didn't like my inquiries or my new accounts. The next credit union that I tried was Parsons Federal Credit Union. This one is also local to me since it's in the LA area. This credit union was also recommended by other exotic car owners. So just like other credit unions, they have all sorts of auto loans. But what makes them a little bit different from others is that they do have auto loans specifically designed towards electric vehicles and dream cars that cost over $100,000. In fact, if you are in the market for an EV, Parsons is the way to go. They have much lower rates for EVs than anywhere I have seen. Well, with the raising prices of new vehicles, it's not unheard of to find a fully loaded vehicle, EV or traditional, that reaches above $100,000 to be placed in the dream category. Depending on when you watch this video, interest rates on dream car loans will fluctuate. But with Parsons FCU, they can give you maximum financing terms of 84 months, with a minimum finance amount of $100K. Depending on your credit worthiness, you also can get up to 135% financing, meaning that the price of taxes, licenses, gap insurance, and other fees that are associated with buying a vehicle can be included in your financing. Now, the biggest thing that I do like about them is that there are no prepayment penalties, meaning that if you were to decide to sell your vehicle early or pay it off, you would not be charged with anything extra. In my case, I was in a time constraint and did not plan enough in advance to go through the free membership process to get a dream car loan. My next stop was DCU, which is Digital Credit Union. Now, this credit union is based out of Massachusetts. To actually become a member, it's really not all that difficult. Of course, the easy route is working for an employer that's in the Massachusetts area, or if you become a member of one of their participating organizations. Some of these are as low as $10, and once you become a member, you're a member for life. Now, this was another credit union that was recommended to me by other exotic car owners, since they have pretty lax underwriting and it was relatively easy to get approved for. So when I became a member, it was a quick and easy process, and I actually got approved for a $100,000 loan right off the bat. Now, I'm not sure if there is a cap on all loans with this credit union, but what I do know after talking to a rep is that the loans that are over $100,000 usually take a little bit longer because it takes a higher level of sign off, but I honestly don't think that there is a hard cap on auto loans unless it's like $500,000 or something similar to Navy Federal. So far, I know I got $100K pre-approved through DCU, but I needed more money to buy the McLaren. Now, this is where I heard about Livestream. I actually did make a video about this recently, so if you guys want to check it out, the video link is right up here. But as a recap, Livestream allows you to get an unsecured auto loan all the way up to $100,000. This is extremely powerful because Livestream technically is not the lien holder of the car, meaning that they do not need to hold on to the title even though that you owe them money. So when I applied for Livestream, the process was a little bit more strenuous compared to other lenders. Since this is an unsecured loan, they do require much more documentation, such as bank statements, liquid assets, and a few others. It took them about a day to get back to me, but then I found out I got approved for $100,000. They also allowed me to set a deposit date, meaning that I can get that money as early as the same day or 3 weeks from now. So once I was approved, I set the deposit the day after, and boom, there was $100,000 in my bank account. So if you are still confused on why I went ahead and got a Livestream loan as well, let me work it out for you. I knew that it was gonna be very difficult for me to get a car loan that was greater than $100K because I never had a car loan that high. And I also knew that credit reporting has a time delay. Usually loans do not report on your credit report until 30 to 60 days later. So within that time frame, you are able to get way more financing since it does not show that you have more debt. Also, Livestream does not hold on to the title. Most lenders, they want to be the lien holder on the car's title, so this would be a problem if I try to get financing from traditional lenders. So I used the Livestream loan as a down payment and then financed the rest using the loan that I was able to get through DCU. Now, I could have taken this one step further and requested a $200,000 loan from DCU and said that I put down $100K, which will increase my chances of getting an even bigger loan, but I didn't want to push myself too far and get over leveraged. Securing financing should be the absolute first thing that you should do before even considering buying an exotic car, because it will determine what cars to look for and what to avoid. Rather than looking at Lamborghini Huracans or McLaren 720s, I had to look at what I was qualified for. So this means McLaren 570s, RDR8s, Mercedes-Benz AMG GTRs, and something similar. Now, even if you don't qualify for $200,000 and say you get $100K, 50 from Livestream, and 50 from a credit union, you can still get a lot of car for that money. This includes Aston Martin V12s, first-gen Audi R8s, and Nissan GTRs. So by following these steps that I went over, I was able to successfully secure a loan of $200,000 and purchase the car of my dreams. It took some time, but at the end of it, it was worth it. For anyone who's looking to get a large loan for an exotic vehicle, make sure that you follow the same steps that I did. I do have a free weekly newsletter that I talk about different financial topics down in the description, and if you want to hang out with me some more, check out these videos over here.